This video is going to be so long and I'm so sorry. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, hi, my name is Jodie and I like to create beauty related content here on this channel. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, make sure that you do subscribe and hit the bell just so you are notified every single time that I upload. Today's video is a rather exciting one. It is going to be my 2020 faves. Not gonna lie, this is going to be a long video, so I suggest you get a cuppa, get a snack, sit down and relax, and let's talk through some of my makeup favourites. This was rather hard to think back. 2020 was a bit of an odd year for the obvious reasons, but I really got into makeup in 2020, particularly like YouTube and uploading on my Instagram, and I just found my favourites through that. Not gonna lie, there is a lot here, which is why I'm saying it's going to be so long, but I did want to include as much as possible just because 12 months is a long time. I will be doing monthly favourites if you guys are up for that this year. Yeah, let me know if you're up for that kind of video every month, and I want to get into this because it's going to be a long one, so let's just go. I'm going to start off with setting sprays. I've been loving two in particular this year. The first one being the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This is my ultimate favourite setting spray, setting mist of 2020. I love this stuff. I am very sad because I feel like this is almost empty and I've not even been anywhere to use it. I've literally only used it in the house, so I have stopped myself from using this now. But honestly, if you suffer with dry skin and you have not tried this one out yet, definitely try it out because the mist on it is amazing. It is, like it says, it's a continuous setting mist, so you hold it down and spray wherever you want, and honestly I love this stuff. If you haven't already tried it, Morphe kept doing sales throughout lockdown one, so you never know, it might come in a sale again. Option number two, if you watch my Boxing Day haul, you will know that I bought quite a few of these, and that is the Prime and Infuse spray. I have had this one since summer, so that is why I'm adding this in. It isn't just from December, don't worry guys. I have been loving this stuff. This is so good, especially again if you've got dry skin like me and you've put all your powder stuff on and you're just looking a bit too like powdery, a bit cakey. Pop some of this bad boy on and it kind of eliminates that powdery look and brings your face back looking a bit fresh again. Honestly, if you, once lockdown's over, if you can get to a Primark and they have this in, go and try it because it is so good and it smells amazing too. That's it for setting sprays this year. Next is primer, and I have quite a few kind of similar primers because it's what my skin likes. So if you couldn't tell, I have dry skin, so I tend to go for something that is going to hydrate the skin. For a cheaper alternative, 100% MUA. MUA's Pro Base primers are amazing. Their moisturiser, 100%. Do you feel like there's not that much in here? Like, I've used it but not as much as there is left. Like, I don't think they fill it up that much, but for £4 it's not the end of the world if they don't. But yeah, this hydrating one, they have a bunch in different ranges and different colours. Different colours represent the different things. The one that Alex made me buy, you're going to hear a lot of makeup with Alex Kate made me buy this because she made me buy most of this, so I have to mention it basically. That is the Banana Blur primer. This is her fault and honestly I want to thank her so much. Again, £4. I have it on today on my nose and honestly it does the job, and there's way more in this one because I don't use it all over my face, whereas this one I kind of put everywhere else. I am someone that prefers two primers. I tend to have like a hydrating one and then I have a blurring one or a pore filling one for my nose and kind of a little bit on my chin and a little bit on my forehead. But yeah, £4, absolutely amazing, definitely worth the money. For a high-end blur pore, I've loved the Professional, not gonna lie. I have always wanted to try the Professional and I got it in a set last Christmas. I only use this on my nose, again, like the banana one, because I don't see the point in putting it all over my face when it's not meant for that. and I love this stuff. I have to stop myself from using it because there's not that much left, like there isn't enough left, but like but yeah, definitely worth it if you suffer with really bad pores on your nose like I do. Next we've got Elf's Poreless Putty range. Their putty primers are amazing. This one is the normal poreless one. As you can see, I have hit pan. I absolutely love this. This one I will put all over my face. Definitely I would say worth the money. Personally, I think these are £8 for the big ones, and I would 100% say they're worth it. This one is the luminous one. I haven't used as much. This one smells really nice as well. Yeah, I haven't used this one as much, but I like to pair it with a foundation, which I'll show you in a minute. It's actually a foundation I've got on now. They definitely cover all the pores, but they feel so nice, and this one works amazing for dry skin, especially if you want to use a matte foundation. The foundation I've got on today is a matte one, believe it or not, and this pairs so beautifully with it. I do have like a late entry which I didn't know whether to include or not, but I'm going to quickly include it as like an honourable mention, and that is the NYX Honey Dew Me Up Primer. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've used a lot of it to say I've only used it a few times. I didn't realise how much I'd used of it. This stuff is expensive, it's £15. It's kind of why I've put it in like an honourable mentions, because it is kind of expensive. However, it is amazing. It does not feel oily, you know, like an oil primer. They don't feel very nice. They make me feel a bit like ugh when I put them on. This doesn't feel like that at all. I don't know how to explain it, but as soon as you like start putting it into your skin, it melts into your skin. It's beautiful, and it leaves a good tacky base for your foundation. Definitely a good one if you've got like more dehydrated / dry skin. But I feel like that one would also be good for oily people because it's not oily, if you get me. Next is foundations. Have 4, possibly 5 if I include my honourable mention, which I'm going to include because you guys won't know. Revolution Conceal and Define is my ultimate fave. I absolutely love this. I have not included it today. I don't really know why. I guess I am now. But this one is my second tube. When I first got this foundation, my skin hated it, and then it got used to it and it loves it. It's one that I go to a lot, especially when I'm having like issues with my skin, and other foundations aren't really like cutting it. I will grab for this one, so just thought I'd quickly mention that one. But the 4 that I have here are Revolution Pro Foundation Drop. These ones I have in F3. I'm more F2 than I am F3, but like these are the only shades I've got left. This is like my 3rd bottle of these. I love these because you can really build them, or you can have them quite sheer, and that's what I like about it. You can have that choice. They blend really well and they are great for dry skin. Yeah, I would 100% recommend that if you haven't already tried. Plus Revolution are always doing deals on this foundation, and honestly it's amazing. Next we've got the L'Oreal True Match. It was always one of my like goals was to try this. I thought I couldn't wear it because it was for oily skin. No, that is not the case. I absolutely love this foundation. Again, mix it with the e.l.f. primer, it works even better. Like, this foundation is for anybody. You don't have to have dry oily skin to be able to use it. Personally, I find it works really well on my skin. I'm the shade 1.N if anybody is interested, and I feel like it matches me pretty well, to be honest. It's the shade Ivory, but yeah, I really like this one, so I thought I'd pop that in. The one that I've got on today, which I said works really well with the luminous e.l.f. primer, is this one. I feel like this has been my ultimate fave of 2020. I have really found this one and discovered it and loved it, and I have it on today. I absolutely love it. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour matte cover. Yes, it's a matte foundation, and I say my skin is so dry, which it is. I have the shade 110 Vanilla Rose, which I'm not quite sure. I feel like it's a little bit too dark for me, maybe. I don't know. I can never tell. The only downside of this is that their shade range isn't the best, personally, I don't think. Other than those, I adore this foundation. It is my favourite. It's what I wear most of the time when I'm filming. I just think it looks flawless. Like, I can't complain coverage wise. It is amazing. A little bit goes such a long way. If you haven't tried this, you 100% need to get on this hype. You need this product because it is so good. My last foundation to show you guys is a high-end one. It's the only high-end foundation I own because I just don't like buying expensive makeup I don't mind in like eyeshadows or powders and things, foundations and stuff like that. I just don't like buying it, so I did get this second hand, but it was basically brand new. This is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and I have wanted to try this foundation for the longest time. Like, you guys do not understand. I've always wanted to try this. Mine is in the shade Almond, which is actually too dark for me if you couldn't tell. However, I mix it with lightning drops or I use a different foundation with it, and this is one of my favourites. It works so well. I will say it's not the most full coverage foundation in the world, so if you're someone that really likes high coverage, you're not going to like this. But if you're someone that likes like a medium coverage at most, kind of like a buildable coverage, then definitely opt for this and give it a go. But I have really been loving it this past year. For concealer, I only have 3 favourites of 2020. My first one is a shocker to me, and that is Collection Lasting Perfection. Now I say this because I am going to be one of the few people that really didn't like this concealer when it was in that old packaging. I think they reformulated it when they brought out this one, and I much prefer it. I don't know if it is different, but to me it feels different. It feels not as cakey and not as dry. I feel like the last formula was quite dry. This one is quite liquidy. Like, I definitely think if you haven't tried it in the new formula, definitely give it a go. It is definitely different. I've got Extra Fair 4, which is quite a light shade, but it works quite well for me because they changed their shading when they changed their packaging. The other drugstore one is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I love this concealer. OMG. My only issue with this concealer is the shade range, because it's not the same as the other camo concealers. I bought the same shade thinking it was going to be the same, and they're not. And I think the shade range is a little bit poor for the hydrating one. I would definitely say this isn't the right shade for me. It's a little bit too doesn't look it in the tube, but when you take it out, I think it must oxidize a little bit and it goes a little bit more like orangey. But that being said, I just need to get another one in a different shade. For reference, I have Fair Beige. The coverage on this, the hydration on this concealer is fabulous, and it has changed the game for me. I love this concealer. The last concealer which I have on today is a high-end one, and it matches the high-end foundation that I showed you guys, and that is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Again, wanted to try for the longest time. I have this one in the shade Swan. Pretty much decent match. I got this off a friend and I'm so glad I did. This, I gravitate to this one all the time and I have to stop myself. I'm like, no Jodie, use a drugstore one. No Jodie, use a drugstore one. I thought today could be like a special occasion where I could wear it, but like normally I'm like, no Jodie, not that one. I absolutely love this. Absolutely love it. No fault. My only fault is the price tag, but the price is worth it. I didn't think I'd ever say that about high-end like concealer or anything, but it actually is worth it. And if you've not tried it yet, definitely give it a go. Next is powder, and I've just realised that 3 out of 4 of them are the same brand. I'm going to start off with the drugstore ones. Again, there is only one high-end one. Again, it's not Too Faced this time. Nice try. First one is the I Heart Revolution loose powder. Now this was in the vending machine back in 2019 Christmas, so you can't actually buy this one separately to my knowledge. However, I had to include it because it is one of my favourite powders. It is just beautiful. My other two are, like I said, I Heart Revolution again, and these are the coconut and peach powder. Not gonna lie, peach is my favourite out of the two. I do find that this one can slightly leave a white cast on me, only ever so slightly, so I tend to reach for this one when I'm a little bit darker in foundation colour, because then it can kind of like neutralise my face. This one use all the time. They both smell incredible, and I believe they're only £5, and you get a decent amount of product in here. I've been using them all year and they're still going strong. The peach one does have less in it than the coconut one, but for the money they have been so worth it. I don't mind going through them at £5 a thing, and they last so long, so definitely get your hands on those. For the high-end one, it is a rather bougie one, especially for me. Again, I know This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills loose powder. This is amazing. I've got the shade Vanilla for anybody that's interested, and just looks like that. I actually have it on today because I only let myself wear this very occasionally because it is expensive, and by expensive I mean this is a £40 powder. Why so expensive? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful, but why £40? It's beyond me. I did not pay £40 for this, paid 20, but it is a very nice powder. It doesn't make you lose your foundation. You know, like when you've got a glowy foundation on, you mattify it with powder and then it looks flat. You don't get that with this powder, and I just think for the quality it is worth it to a degree. I don't think any powder should be £40, but it is a very nice powder. Have quite a few for this category because I've really found myself loving bronzers this year. Bronzer slash contour has been one of my big climbs in 2020. Like, I've wanted to collect a lot more than what I had, because I'm not gonna lie, the majority of my contour slash bronzing products were from Revolution, and there are a few Revolution ones in this pile, but I wanted to broaden bronzer knowledge. So the first one is more of a like bronzer topper. I don't really know how to describe it. So it's the Revolution Bronzer Reloaded in Holiday Romance, which looks like this. It's like a baked formula, and it is very it's not particularly bronzy. I tend to take this when I've already done like my contour, my bronzer, and the rest of my face is looking a bit too pale. Don't know if anybody else gets this, where like here and under your eyes just look a bit too pale. So then I will get this, swirl my brush in it, and I will just like dab around, and that's how I use this. It's probably not what it's meant for, but that's how I use it, and I just find it brings back a tiny bit more colour to like the areas where it's looking a bit too pale. And I also like put it where my bronzer and stuff is, just to like cool it down and lighten it a little bit sometimes, because it isn't a full-on bronzer shade. Like, it is, but it isn't, but it's got this real sheen to it, but it doesn't look like you've put highlighter on your face. I've just really been enjoying this. I think it's only a couple of pounds, like £4 most, and I just think for that price it doesn't hurt to try it. I know, let me know how you guys use this, or do you just use it as a bronzer? For me, that's not bronzy enough. The bronzer I've got on today is the Revolution Mega Bronzer 01 Cool. It's a massive pan which looks like this, and honestly I bought this off a friend. Yeah, I bought this off my friend Carly, and honestly I semi-regretted it when I first bought it. I just thought, oh god, why have I bought that? I don't need it. Actually, I gravitate towards this so much. I am really glad I bought this. I don't know how much this is normally, or if you can even get it anymore, not sure, but it's just the perfect shade. Like, I don't even think you can tell I've got it on in this lighting. I do, but it's very smooth. It doesn't go on patchy or anything. You can blend it out really well as well, like if you put a bit too much on, and I actually quite like the colour of it. Yeah, I would say that if you're a little bit paler than me, like I'm pale, but I don't know, I'm not like as pale as it goes. Like, I don't wear F1 in foundation. I think if you're paler than me, it might not be good for you because it is a bit dark, but like I said, I've got it on today and you can't even really tell. Next is XX Revolution. This is the XX bronzer, sorry I'm reading from the box, matte bronzer, and mine's in the shade Demo. And when I first got this, OMG, like, it used to have X's written all in it. You can kind of see it a little bit here. I've used it so much that you can't see that anymore. I love the shade of this, it's really beautiful. I think my only criticism would be that this is a little bit more expensive because it's not the normal Revolution range, but actually for the amount I've used it, it is kind of worth it. I don't know how much product you get in here. I really like this. I really like the colour of it. It is slightly different to the other colours that I've shown you. I think if you want to spend a little bit more, go for this one. I will say I don't really like the packaging though, but it's just packaging, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, next is a newer brand, not brand, but like they've only recently brought out these bronzers. This was definitely like the second half of this year, and that is Beauty Bay. So Beauty Bay brought out bronzers, blushers, more eyeshadow palettes, liners, lipsticks, lip glosses. They brought out a whole host of things. This is the shade Fawn, which is a gorgeous colour. My beautiful friends Carly and Alex bought me this one, and I have been loving it. I've been gravitating towards it so much. It's definitely a very much me colour. I am someone that prefers slightly darker and slightly more like cooler. This one is a bit warm, but I've really been loving it. For the price, they're really good. I think these are £5 or £6. I think the only thing I would say is that Bootbay have been doing a lot of sales like through Christmas and stuff where they've brought down the price of these. So if you don't want to pay like £6 for it, maybe wait for a sale to come on and then grab them, because that's what I've been doing. I've got another one in another colour. And I've just really been enjoying the Beauty Bay formula. I've got a blusher from them that I've really been loving as well, so definitely check those out for the price. Next is Doll Beauty, and this is the Doll Give Me Sun. Mine's in the shade Light. I will say this isn't my favourite colour wise, but I love the formula. Like, the formula is so nice, very buttery. It blends out really well. My only gripe with this is that it's a bit too orange for my liking. Like, I wish it was a little bit cooler toned. Nothing major, just a tiny bit. But that is more my preference. It is a very good like shade for lighter skinned individuals. It's just not my personal favourite bronzer kind of shade. But overall, love it. Like, although I say that, I do use it a lot. I think these are £15 though, which is... Doll Beauty is a little bit expensive, I'm not gonna lie. I actually got mine in a bundle like this time last year. But and then the last one is one you can't get anymore. They don't sell it, which I don't know why, because I remember this used to be really popular. But this is the Soap and Glory Solar Powder, and I have only recently been gravitating towards this and then discovered that you can't buy it anymore. But I wanted to include it because, like I said, I have been loving it. You swirl the two colours together and it just gives the nicest kind of contour shade. And what I was doing was using this one kind of like on my contouring areas, and then using the Revolution Baked one like everywhere else, and it was just giving the most gorgeous look, and I was absolutely loving it. But then I stopped using it because you can't get it anymore, so it's just a bit like, it's annoying. Because it is one of my favourites actually. Next are the two palettes. So again, there's a high-end one and a drugstore one. My drugstore one is again because of Alex, and this is the Roxaurus contour palette, which looks like this. I love this. Don't forget that it has highlighters in it, I'm not gonna lie. I tend to always think about it for the contour shades, but I pretty much can get away with 3 out of 4 of the contour shades. Again, with the highlighters I can get away with 3 out of 4 of them. What I tend to do is mix this darker one here and this like kind of cooler one here, or I use the cooler one as contour and then this one as bronzer, and I've just been loving it. It is worth the money. I think it's one of the better palettes that Revolution have done. It is again Too Faced. This is the Cocoa Contour. Oh, I nearly dropped it then. It smells amazing. So this is what it looks like. So you've got 6 shades. I do not use this one, but I use all the rest of them. I tend to mix all of the bronzers together. This was sold out everywhere, absolutely everywhere, and then someone sold it on Depop to me. I don't know if this is in stock anywhere again now. If it is, you need it, you need it, guys, you need it. It's just amazing, so buttery, so gorgeous, like the colours, the tones, very pigmented. Just, it ticks all the boxes that I like, which is why I like it. I'm gonna do blusher next and then highlighter, because highlighter is kind of a big category. Okay, so this year, I keep saying this year, 2020, in terms of blusher has been a journey for me. I didn't really use blusher a whole lot. I didn't have that many blushers and I didn't really use it. Life changed. I got one particular palette and then started collecting a particular brand, and my blusher journey began. I am in love with blush. It is my 2020 thing. I love blusher now. If you would have told me that a year ago, I would have been like, what? No. Now, yes. And you know what changed my life? This palette. This Revolution palette. This is the Flamingo Flamboyance blusher palette. Doesn't actually have a name, but there's a matching eyeshadow palette that goes along with it from the Forever Flawless range. This is what the blushes look like. If you want to see my review on this, I will leave it. It's in down below. If you scroll back on my channel, I absolutely love this. I love it. Love it. And it sparked my love for blusher. Just sparked it. I think this is £8. If you haven't tried this, or you're not really into blusher, get this. They are very pigmented for the price. Use a light hand, but you get a variety of shades for the £8. And I feel like because they're quite pigmented, they will suit a lot of people's skin tones because they are very pigmented. I just think it's a brilliant palette and one of my favourites. The other thing I would say is if you're not really a blush person but you want to get into it, get these. These are the Revolution Blusher Reloaded. This one is Peach Bliss, and these also changed my blusher life. I own 6 of them. I have another one on the way. Yes, I don't need that many, but they are all different. Like, I'll get another one out for you guys. This one is Violet Love. Totally different tone. Look, totally different tone. Totally different look, you go for this one. Peachy look, you go for this one. Like, these are brilliant. These are always on offer as well. Otherwise they're £4. £4 is so good. Another cheaper one, which I mentioned earlier, Beauty Bay. I have 4 of these now. Again, this one's called Peachy. I do like a peachy blush. I've also got into more peachy tones this year. Absolutely amazing these are. These go down to like £3.60 in the Beauty Bay sale, which is amazing. This one again was bought for me by my lovely friends Carly and Alex because they treated me, because they're angels and I love them. If you're watching this, hello, I love you. Thank you. Beauty Bay brushes. They also do highlighters. I didn't put a highlighter in this. I do love the highlighters as well. The other 3 kind of high end, I would say so, only because, well, this one is the Colourpop Zoella one. Again, don't think you can get this anymore. Bought this one off a friend, but they do have them circulating on Depop if you don't mind buying secondhand makeup from people. This one is Soulmate. I'm pretty sure they did 2, but I could be wrong. This is what it looks like. It's looking way more bright on camera than what it is in real life. It isn't the most pigmented, like it looks it there. When you're popping it on, it is very sheer, but it is beautiful, and I loved Zoella for a very long time, so when someone was selling this, I hopped on that. Then I've got Benefit ones. This one's California in particular. Again, got this off a friend, and look at that colour. Look how bright it is. It's beautiful. Not gonna lie, I love most Benefit brushes. I don't think there's one that I don't particularly love, but this is the one that I have been using a lot more, especially in summer, because it's quite bright and it is very pigmented, and it's a tiny mini, and it just fills my heart with a lot of love. Last but not least, if you're someone that watches me regularly, or you're someone who is in Alex's Patreon, you are going to know what this last blusher is. Put it in the high-end category, because compared to all these other ones, it is more expensive, but it's not like £30. So if you haven't guessed already, it's the Doll Beauty Pretty Fly blusher in the shade Take Me to the Peach. I absolutely adore this. This packaging is 100% better than the bronzer packaging. The bronzer one is magnetic. That annoys me. If it's in my makeup bag, there is a chance something is going to open it. It's a proper clasp. And this is the shade. Like, look at it. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Have it on today. Have it on. Not that you can really tell. You can kind of tell a little bit here. If you have not tried one of these, you need to. You just need to. Take Me to the Peach or Viva la Vacay. I really want that one. This video is going to be so long and I'm so sorry. Right, highlighters. XX Revolution in the shade Echo. This one has pink packaging and looks like this. This is the perfect champagne kind of colour. If you are pale, like, look at that colour. I don't have it on today, but this is gorgeous. They are a little bit more expensive. They're £12 I think, but this is just too good not to buy. And they do a really good shade range of these, so if you're darker, medium, fair, light, you should be able to get one that caters for all. This one is the Max, no it's not, it's the Maybelline Chrome Extreme in the shade Diamond Glow. This is gorgeous. This is my favourite highlighter of all time. If you have not tried this or any from the range, you need to. It is very similar to the XX Rev one, but look, oh, I just can't help it. It is just my favourite highlighter. It just looks amazing. It's not one of them highlighters that emphasises texture. It just looks nice on your skin regardless. It's that kind of wet highlighter look, kind of similar to this highlighter today, but just a fraction of the price of this one. Yeah, Maybelline are always on 2 for £12 as well, so 9 times out of 10 you can probably get this really good price as well. I just love it. I just think if you haven't tried it, you're missing out, and you just need to. It's just gorgeous. Next is one brand that I have fallen in love with more recently, and I think they're on sale right now. They're changing their packaging to more sustainable packaging and stuff. Josh Cosmetics. Josh freaking Cosmetics. His highlighters are like another world. His are such a different texture. Like, I don't know how to explain it unless you've got one, but it just doesn't feel like a normal highlighter, and they don't look like a normal highlighter. Like, look, one dip, oh look at that. I was going to put it on today, but I've worn this one so much this week I was like, no Jodie. And he does all kinds of colours. This one's creme, but you can still see it on my finger. That's how insanely pigmented these are. He's got white ones, he's got white to green, white to blue, white to pink, pink ones, he's got yellow highlighters, he's got ones for darker skin, he's got ones for lighter skin. Go and have a look, really good range, and pricing isn't too bad. I think they're £10 a highlighter, but I believe they're still on sale. If they are, £5 a highlighter. I got all mine on sale. I don't think I've paid full price for any of mine. And I've also got his eyeshadow palette, which I think I'm going to do a tutorial on. Not a tutorial, like a first impressions on. So let me know if you want that. My other high-end like single one, again, Doll Beauty. Told you, they've changed the game for me this year. They're a brand that I've really got into. This is the shade Like a Diamond, which I believe is their lightest highlighter shade. This is stunning. It's one of those highlighters that is just blinding, like blinding. I've got it on my inner corners actually. That's how blinding it is. Little goes a long way. Again, one of those that doesn't pick up texture. They're blinding. This is the most blinding highlighter I own. It's gorgeous. Okay, for highlighter palettes, obviously I love my Soph palette, but I'm just not going to include that today. There is only one like cheaper end highlighter palette, that's the word. I don't know why that is. I've gained a lot of like higher end palettes wise, so they're what I've used more of. But one that I do want to mention is this one. This is the Sunkissed Diamond Dust palette. Now, a little bit about me. I love a crazy eye look. Not that I have one on today. I love a colourful eye look, and I love pairing that with a colourful inner corner or brow bone, or just like highlighter in general. This has been one of the palettes I have loved to do that with in the year 2020. This is what this one looks like. So you've got like a yellow, a pink, a white to pink, and like a purpley blue. This palette was £3.50. Pigmentation is insane. And this is a dupe for the palette that I have. So if you guys want to see a comparison, let me know. ABH Moonchild, picked up in TK Matte. Colourful highlighters, there we go. You've got like a pink, green. This one is like a purple. You've got like a grey, which comes out blinding. A white, and then a bluey purple. Again, absolutely love this for my inner corner and things. Be Perfect Sub-Zero. I loved this when I got it. Again, got like a bluey highlight, a pink highlight, a normal one. I can get away with these 4. These 3 not so much. Blinding highlighters again, like I just love a blinding highlight, I can't help it. Blinding, mate, blinding. The one I've got on today is this one. This one is the Jaclyn Cosmetics The Flash highlight palette. This is expensive. This is like £60. I got it half price, near enough, on Morphe's website. I don't think they stock Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics anymore. I can get away with 3 out of 4 of them. Would definitely not pay £60 for it. However, 27 or 28 that I paid, well worth it. Last but not least, Benefit Cookie. Benefit Cookie. You guys, if you have still not tried Cookie, what are you playing at? You need a bit of Cookie in your life. It is amazing. Best highlighter from Benefit. It is a little bit pricey by itself. I got it in this palette. I think this palette was £21 when I got this. So I suggest getting it in a palette. This has got Gold Rush and Hoola in, and it's a very good travel. I literally would just pack this because it's got everything I need in. Let's talk about eye stuff before I go on to eyeshadow palettes last. Again, another mention has to be this bad boy. P. Louise bases. Any of them. Her normal ones, her coloured ones, her paints. This year has been my year for P. Louise. I went from having this one base, this one to be exact, to owning all of these. Have mini ones. I have Rumour 2. I've got 0. I've got the black Badder black base. This one's number 1. I have a big one of shade 2. I have near enough all of her coloured ones. And I have all of the Acid Rain paints. I've got some of the crisp finish paints. And yesterday these came, which is the Rewhite and the Feedback or Feed Black paint. I've also been loving this, which I did only get the end of last month, so technically shouldn't include it, but I'm going to quickly include it. This is just from her brow range. This is the Oh So Browtiful. I have the shade Hazelnut. For brows in general, been loving Cabrow. I've gone back to Cabrow. This one's shade 3. I've been loving it. Revolution Pro Brow Pomade. Love that. That was what I used at the beginning of lockdown. For mascara, it has to be Big Girl Bang. Collection Lash Surge. I still can't say it, guys. The mascara, the Revolution. I did like Chocolate Dipped. Another mention has to be Revolution Ultimate Eye Base. Really liked that. I can't reach them right now, but for eyes, I've also been loving the Barry M High Vis liners. They are amazing. You need them in your life. For lips, for gloss, I've been loving Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fenty Glow. Beautiful lip gloss. ABH liquid lipsticks in the shade Rock Sand Naked in the middle, like an ombre lip. Been loving anything ABH. Their lipsticks as well, love them. Fenty lip paints, especially the shade Uncuffed, which is more of a nude shade. Absolutely love this year. Lip liners, my ultimate favourite lip liner is Primark Rosewood. It's like their old packaging. Absolutely love it. Got it on today. MUA lip liners are amazing. They're intense colour. I've been loving. Also P. Louise lip kits Heights, which is this one. Gorgeous colour. Anything Doll Beauty. Doll Beauty liquid, not liquid, Doll Beauty lipsticks. This one's the shade Double Booked. What else have I been loving? Anything Too Faced recently. I got this just before Christmas. Beauty Bay glosses are gorgeous. For an everyday look, everyday use, what I've got on today, this. Monica's palette from the Friends collection with Revolution has been my favourite. I didn't think I was going to like this when I bought it. I was dreading it. One of my favourites of 2020. If you still haven't got any of these, highly recommend Monica's one. I don't own the other ones, but just I can tell this one. I've watched a lot of videos on them and I can just tell that this one is a lot of people's favourites. 100%. Grab this. Okay, I really had to limit myself with what palettes I chose, so They are pretty much all high-end, which I'm so sorry. They're just the ones I've loved this year. I'll start off with the cheapest ones. So they've got to be these. You guys will know from my reviews of these, I have loved them this year. For anybody that hasn't watched my reviews on these are the BH Weekend Vibes palettes. They did a whole collection. This one's avocado toast, and it just has the most beautiful greens and a few browns and peaches, and the shimmers in particular are stunning in these palettes. I think these palettes retail for £15.50, and they do like contour blush palettes and then eyeshadow palettes from this particular collection. This one though is definitely my favourite out of the two, like one more than the other. I love both of them though, but this one is a bit of me, particularly this shade here. I just have loved this palette, and I think if you guys have not tried these palettes yet, don't hesitate, just do it. An eyeshadow palette that kicked off a lot of my buys for this year was this one. Again, you can't buy this one anymore. He has his own brand out now, which I would include his palettes, but I only got them in December, so I didn't think it was very fair to include them. Me, myself and my mama Mitchell, I wanted this palette because of Make Me Up Misser. I took the plunge in March and then it got discontinued, so I'm so glad I got it when I did. I will never part with this palette, I just can't. It's beautiful, it has everything in it. These shades are absolutely stunning. They're so vibrant, they're so pigmented, they literally have everything you would want and more. And I'm so sorry to anybody that didn't try this before it got discontinued, because I didn't do many restocks before it was. The palette I bought literally probably a week after that was this Carnival XL Pro. I had wanted the first one. I went to buy it last December and then they bought this one out. So I stopped myself and I waited, and then this one went down in price and I couldn't resist any longer. This has been my staple palette for 2020. Most of my Instagram looks were done with this palette. This palette is the reason why I feel I have progressed in eyeshadow this year, like last year. Do not get me wrong, I'm not the best at eyeshadow, I know that. I'm not an expert. However, the amount of growth I did last year, for me when I look back, especially like this time 2019, like Christmas 2019 to Christmas 2020, my progression was insane. And I can't wait to see what this year comes. I want to be so much more creative. I really want to gain more skill, and if you do not have one of these palettes, personally I suggest this one because it does have a lot more variety in shades. And if you like blue like me, I found in 2020 blue was my colour, you need this one. It just has a bit of everything in, and it is worth the money. I 100% believe that. It is so worth the money. Get yourself the XL Pro. Then, in August, this one came out. So obviously, my mum actually treated me to this one. Had to grab this one, which looks like this. This is number 3 in the series. Number 1 looks very similar to number 2, it's just smaller. I don't think there's much shade difference between 1 and 2, but there is a big one between 2 and 3 and 1 and 3. This one is a lot more green, it's a lot more purple. I would say if you are more into purples and pinks and green, you should get this one over the number 2. To be honest, just buy both, they can be used together. I love this one. Has some really good shades, some really unique shades, some very unique formulas in terms of shimmers and things, like this top corner one here. So different. Last but certainly not least is one of my favourites again, obviously. This one is favourite for colour story and formula, but mainly for colour story and for brand. It's this one. It is P. Louise Worldy. She's known for making big palettes. I don't care about the size of my palette, to be honest. It's got sand in it, like how freaking cool. Her detail, her attention to detail in her palettes is amazing. I really want to get my hands on her newest one, her cancelled one, because I want to read what's on the front of it, and I obviously want to try the eyeshadows. This is what Worldy looks like. It is just my favourite. It's got blues in it, it's got greens, it's got purple, it's got orange. If you're really into this kind of colour story, this is definitely a palette to think about getting or asking for. Such good value for money. The pigmentation is insane. Some really like neon colours. Her shimmers in these are a little bit hard, but look how shimmery they are. Like, those colours are insane, and I just think if you, like I said, if you like this colour story, you just need this palette because it's just got everything you want. Those are my favourites of 2020. I've probably missed some bits out, but as a whole, that's what I've been loving. Let me know what your favourites for 2020 have been. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really enjoyed looking back at some of the stuff that I've used this year and loved. I'm excited to see what 2021 will bring, what new products, what new favourites and all that good stuff. If you did like this video, make sure you do give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!